Up to half of the Earth's water may come from our sun, the solar wind, and space dust. This is by Luke Daly, Martin R. Lee, Nick Timms, Phil Bland from The Conversation. Now, I've heard of water from the sun. The first time I heard it was by scientist Nassim Haramein, and you'll find a lot of wonderful videos on YouTube and his scientific explanations of a lot having to do with the sun. Water is a vital, of course, for life on Earth, and some experts say that we should all drink around 2 liters a day as part of a healthy life. But beyond the tap, where does the water come from? It flows from local rivers, reservoirs, and aquifers, but where has that water originated from? Over geologic time, Earth cycles water through living organisms, the atmosphere, rivers, oceans, the rocks beneath our feet, and even through the planet's deeper interior. Now, billions of years ago, our Earth was a lot smaller than it is today. It seems to be growing, and the bodies of water on our Earth are growing. Now, what happened before that? Where did Earth get its water in the first place? Scientists have long searched for answers to this question. They said we studied tiny pieces of an asteroid to find out, and we think a rain of protons from the sun may be producing water all the time on rocks and dust throughout the solar system. In fact, up to half of Earth's water may have been produced this way and arrived here with falling space dust. The water puzzle. We know Earth's water likely came from outer space early in our solar system history. So what was the primordial delivery service that gave Earth its water? Water-rich asteroids are currently the best candidates for the delivery of water. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. Water-rich asteroids are currently the best candidates for the delivery of water, as well as carbon-hydrogen compounds, which together make possible our beautiful habitable blue planet teeming with life. However, water from asteroids contains a specific ratio of ordinary hydrogen to a heavier kind or isotope of hydrogen called deuterium. All of Earth's water were from asteroids. If it was all from asteroids, we would expect it to have the same ratio. But Earth's water has less deuterium, so there must have also been some other source of water in space with less deuterium. However, the only thing we know of in the solar system with lots of hydrogen but a low ratio of deuterium lower than Earth is the sun itself. This puts us in a bit of a pickle, as it's hard to see how the hydrogen in Earth's water could have come from the sun. Excitingly, we might finally have the answer to the conundrum, the tiny pieces of asteroid. Back in 2011, Japanese space agency JAXA sent the Hayabusa mission to take samples of an asteroid Itokawa and bring it back to Earth. In 2017, we were lucky enough to be allocated 3 extremely rare mineral particles from the sample, each about the width of a human hair. Our aim was to study the outer surfaces of the dust particles in a brand new way to see if we had been enough affected by space weathering. This is a combination of processes which are known to affect all surfaces exposed in space, such as harmful galactic cosmic rays, micro-meteorite impacts, solar radiation, and solar wind. We worked in a huge team involving experts from 3 continents, using a relatively new technique called atom probe tomography, which analyzes tiny samples at an atomic level. This let us measure the abundance and position of individual atoms and molecules in 3D. Near the surface of the Itokawa particles, we found a layer which in hydroxide molecules, HO, contains 1 oxygen atom and 1 hydrogen, HO. And more importantly, water, H2O, contains 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. This discovery of water was very unexpected, but everything we knew, these materials from the asteroid should have been as dry as a bone. How solar wind makes water. The most likely source of hydrogen atoms required to form this water layer later in the solar wind, hydrogen ions, atoms with a missing electron, streaming through space from the sun, then lodging in the surfaces of the dust particles. We tested this theory in the lab by firing heavy hydrogen ions, deuterium, to simulate those in the solar wind at minerals like those in asteroids, and found that these ions react with the mineral particles and steal oxygen atoms to produce hydrogen and water. Water created by solar wind represents a previously unconsidered reservoir in our solar system. So this is totally new. Water from our sun. And what's more, every airless world or lump of rock across a galaxy could be home to a slowly renewed water resource powered by their suns. This is fantastic news for future human space exploration. This life-giving water resource could potentially also be split into hydrogen and oxygen to make rocket fuel. Now back down to Earth. So how does this revelation relate to the origin of water on Earth? When Earth and its oceans were formed, the solar system was teeming with objects from kilometer-wide asteroids to micrometeor-scale dust particles. These objects have been falling into our planet and others ever since. Scaling up from our small space weathered grain, we estimated that a cubic meter of asteroid dust could contain as much as 20 liters of water. A cubic meter, 20 liters of water. So with all the space dust that has fallen to Earth over the eons, a lot of water from the sun, with less deuterium, would have arrived alongside the heavier water from the larger asteroids. We calculated that around 50-50 mix of water-rich dust and asteroids would have been a perfect match for the isotopic composition of Earth's water. So while sipping your next glass of water, ponder the curious thought that Earth derived up to half its water from our sun. This is by The Conversation, Luke Daly and company, Solar Wind Contributions from phys.org. This is amazing. This is a new source of water from each sun in the universe. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support.